Hello, Kimberly here. Let's talk about being done, as in I'm done. We hear that a lot of different ways. We hear it with excitement, like, oh, I'm done. And then we hear it with, I'm done, with some anger and frustration. Then you might hear, I'm done. I'm done, with maybe a little bit of confusion and uncertainty. So anybody who is leaving something they've done for a long time could experience a lot of different emotions. But let's kind of look at and kind of talk about what first responders could feel. I know in my situation, I was done with traffic. I was done driving 45 minutes each direction to and from work every day for years and years and years. And I was done wearing a uniform that didn't keep me cool in the summer and didn't keep me warm in the winter. We could be done with rotating shifts. We could be done with missing holidays and important events and travel opportunities. We could be done sitting in boring classes. We could be done seeing the same people every day, day in and day out. We could be done with the media and done with politics. And we could be done with trying to solve a problem that cannot be solved. And it sure as heck cannot be solved by us. So those are some things that we can be done with. Pretty good things to be done with, actually. Let's look at some other things that we're done with also when we leave our job, our long-term career, and that's we're done with a schedule. We've always known where we were going to be. We knew what we were going to be doing for 8 hours plus every day, 40 plus hours a week for years and years and years. Now you don't know what you're going to do. You don't have a schedule. What about that built-in social system that you had? Those same people that you saw every single day, at least once a day. Oftentimes you ate with them, you spent holidays with them. These are your people. These are the people that you laugh with. These are the people that understand you. These are the people that know something about the world that seems like everybody else is missing, except you and your buddies. Y'all understand it. You miss that. You also are missing a lot of mental stimulation. You are missing just things in life that have been there for all those years. You're also missing your income, the overtime opportunities. So there are some other things that you'll be done with that you might not consider whenever you're thinking about all those big things that you don't want to do anymore. But let's turn this around so it works for us. That's what I do. I help people figure out how to make this work for themselves. No matter where you are in your career, or even if you're already retired, there are some things that you can do today that will make your life better today and will make your 20 or 30 years of retirement better also. But let's look at scheduling. The easiest thing to do is just schedule your life. Don't think about adding anything to it. Don't think about taking anything out of it. Just schedule your life. What time you wake up, what time you eat your meals, what time you go to bed, what time you walk the dog, when you water your plants, when you do your crossword puzzle, when you put gas in the car, whatever. Just schedule it, write it down, have a schedule, and look and see what's important to you on that schedule. You might be surprised some things that bring you great joy that you do every day that you're not giving enough credit to. The one important thing to do with your scheduling, and I cannot stress this enough, and that is your sleep. Scheduling the time that you go to bed to go to sleep. Not go to bed to watch TV, go to bed to go to sleep. You need your sleep. We've had all these years of all this stress on our bodies where we probably haven't gotten the right amount of sleep. Let's fix that now. Now, I can't pronounce the guy's last name, but the author, Nick, of Excommunicated Warrior, he himself recognized the absolute need for sleep in his life, and he got himself on a schedule, for a bedtime schedule, and his significant other helped him. They started slowing down at night. They watched the caffeine that they consumed later in the day. They didn't watch TV late at night, got rid of the blue lights, no computer usage, used lavender essential oil, but got themselves on a schedule for sleep because he knew that it was important for his body and his brain and his survival. Let's look at socializing, your social life. Sometimes if you schedule stuff, you can schedule some social stuff in, and that's kind of, two birds with one stone. But why don't you look into volunteering? Look into walking with a group. it isn't that you have to do stuff for these people, but just have some people in your life, kind of get that exposure to people. Let's do that again. Let's get people in our lives that we don't have to necessarily help and that don't ask anything from us. It's a good start. If you're wired where you do like to serve, like I like to take care of people, I like to help people, so I like to include that in my life. It's important to me, but everybody's wired differently. So include some people in your life that either don't need you or do need you, whatever works for you. But let's just do that. And PhD Kevin Gilmartin said in Emotional Survival for Law Enforcement that we have already been through this social upheaval at one point in our lives. When we got hired on and went to the academy and then hit the streets and earned our street cred, as we were doing all that, people fell out of our lives. Naturally, just felt, people grow up, they go their separate ways. But some of it wasn't natural. Some of it was the fact that they just didn't fit us anymore because, our way of thinking was different, or we couldn't stand how they thought, or they weren't comfortable with how we thought, or we didn't have time for them. A lot of things came into play on that. So we've lost those people we went to college with, maybe the military, grew up with, family members. That doesn't have to happen again. It's probably going to happen to some degree, but it doesn't have to happen completely. So if there are people on the job that matter to you, remember, they're still at work and you're retired, so they don't have the same free time that you do. Or they might be retired and live on the other side of a very large metroplex, depending upon where you live. Make an effort to stay in contact with them. Text them. Get on Facebook with them. Call them. Meet for coffee. Do something. Just keep people in your life that matter to you. We're not talking quantity of people. We're just talking that you do have a social support system. You do have people in your life. The last thing I'm going to hit on real quick is mental stimulation. So you're not going to the classes anymore. You're not keeping up on the reading of your career. You're not going to work every day, so you don't have that constant information coming in. What are you going to do about that? It might be kind of a relief at first to not, be bombarded all the time with stuff. But ultimately, you do need that. Your brain does need that. You need the physical movement, but you also need the mental movement with your brain. Any ideas on what you can do? I'd love to hear your ideas on what you were doing or what you suggest that individuals do. If I may suggest, read. Find some stuff that you like to read. Join a library. Read online. You can read books for free from libraries online for free. It's amazing. For free. Don't have to leave your house. I want you to leave your house, but you don't have to leave your house if you don't want to. Other things that you can do on that is classes. Lots of free classes out there. Plus there's continuing education. There's classes online. There's classes at church, classes at the library, classes at the outreach centers. Lots of education. And if you don't want to be the consumer of education, maybe think about teaching. Put all that experience you have to work. Teach some other people. Come on, look at you. You're an expert at something, right? So just keep that brain, keep it working, keep it going, expand your knowledge. You might find that there's a whole world out there that's just been happening without you. And you've been so busy living your life that you missed it. And now's a good time to explore, to get out into the world, even if it's just in your own mind, in the safety of your house. So we touched on a bunch of things today, being I'm done. I'm done. And what does that mean? What it does mean, what it can mean, and how you can take that and make it work for you. So, and this is what I do. This is what I love to do. I've been through this, retired after 30 years of a police officer. My husband is still an active SWAT officer. We're dealing with his decisions that he's making leading towards retirement. So I see it. I understand it. My people are cops. I understand it. We can do this. Now, nobody can do it for you. We can do it with you, but you ultimately have to do it yourself. But you're worth the effort. And if you're watching this because you have a first responder in your family, somebody who matters to you, bring this stuff up to him or her. Help them. Let them know that it doesn't have to be done alone, and it doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be scary, but it isn't all positive. There are some things that have to be addressed to make it go that way. And I hope you join us for our next planned video, which would be video number 4. And for the SWAT guys, I hope I get this right, it's called Into the Breach. For the rest of us, it's called Going Through the Door. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.